Now, I want to ask you about Thomas Crook. We had in the past couple of weeks new data on this man who came a few millimetres from changing the history of the world. He came a few millimetres away from assassinating President Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania. We saw his online footprint for the first time a couple of weeks ago, the way he was radicalised, his far-left political views. And yet the Media Research Centre report that not a single one of the nearly 1,000 stories pushed by big tech news giants, Google News, MSN News, Yahoo News, AOL and Apple News, covered this story, covered the New York Post bombshell expose, revealing also how the FBI botched the Crooks probe. I just can't understand this. As we discussed on this program then, FBI Chief Christopher Wray testified to Congress that Crooks had little presence on social media and that he didn't really reveal a political motivation. We know that's false, Sarah. Why are so many media outlets reluctant to cover this extraordinary development in this extraordinary story?
Yeah, Rita, it's because it's the same thing that they always do, but on a much larger scale. It's the same thing that these mainstream media outlets do. When something that happens, a shooting, a murder, something that happens in this country that is very violent and very terrible, when it doesn't fit their motivations and their political ideology, when it doesn't fit what the mainstream media wants to happen, when it's a black man who is, of course, committing violence against a white woman, when it doesn't fit their ideology, they just magically, poof, forget about it. It's like it never existed. The problem here, Rita, I have more of a problem with our FBI not giving us the transparency that we are so owed in this particular case, especially under Trump 2.0. We need answers. I want to know why Christopher Wray and his associates went to Congress and testified and told Congress that this man not only had a very small digital footprint, but also had one in which he espoused Republican ideologies. Now we know
Yes.
the rest of the story, which is, of course, Rita, when you go through it, he was a Republican. He was a Trump guy until all of a sudden, Rita, mysteriously in 2020, he was espousing the exact opposite rhetoric. He was espousing very violent rhetoric against President Trump and other Republicans and political leaders. Why was that? What happened in that COVID era to radicalize Thomas Crooks? We need answers to this, and the mainstream media is not going to search for them. So we really need independent journalists. I've been covering it on The Blaze, people like Miranda Devine over at the New York Post. We need to be digging for these answers, and we need to not let up, because we really need to understand why this happened, how this came to be, and who all was behind it.
Absolutely. How he was radicalised, and that online footprint for that last 4 years of his life was significant. It wasn't just one or two posts. This guy was radicalised. He became a hard left activist after, as you said, initially being pro-Trump back 4 or 5 years earlier. So this is something that certainly needs further investigation. Now, I want to ask you about the president's health and mental acuity. This has come under scrutiny. The New York Times is very concerned about President Trump's health. They're saying shorter days, signs of fatigue. Trump faces realities of aging in office. I mean, this is rich work coming from the New York Times that ignored or actively covered up the real cognitive decline of Joe Biden. Sarah, tell me about this story and what the reaction has been.
Oh, I mean, it's just, I couldn't laugh more at this story. This is the most laughable article. Shorter days, greater fatigue. I mean, we just had a Weekend at Bernie's president for 4 years. The guy was like 250 years old. He couldn't walk. He couldn't talk. He couldn't make string together a coherent thought. And on top of that, I believe it was something like 40% of his time in office he spent on a Delaware beach, like a beached whale just laying out, right? We're just sunbathing. And so I mean, it's just laughable at this point. They want to take every opportunity they can to try to get Trump. The problem is they're just never going to get him. The guy is, for whatever reason, he's healthier than a horse. Like, he is healthier than most 40-year-old men. It's just, he's an enigma. He is a mystery. And on top of that, not only is his body in perfect health, his mind, obviously, he's there. He's sharp. He's holding press conferences multiple times a day. He's talking to reporters. He's the most transparent president ever. So I mean, it's just laughable at this point. Here in the United States, we really, honestly, we laugh at these media outlets who try everything they can. They tried to stop him from getting into office. They tried with the 91 indictments. They tried raiding Mar-a-Lago. They tried assassination attempts. It didn't work. He's in office. The American people wanted him, and now they will try at whatever the cost to try to discredit him. The problem is nobody believes them anymore.
Sarah Gonzalez, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.